Welcome to Revenge Return, where love is never simple, revenge is never accidental, and every story unfolds with secrets, betrayal, and emotional twists you won't see coming. This is where the story begins. The notification came at 2:47 p.m. on a Tuesday. Email from First National Bank, subject line, mortgage closing scheduled, your signature required. I read it 3 times. Mortgage on the warehouse at 1847 Industrial Boulevard. The property I'd bought 6 years ago with settlement money from the car accident that killed my husband. The building I'd renovated alone, renting to 3 small manufacturers who paid $4,200 monthly. The asset my sister Rachel knew I owned outright because she'd helped me celebrate the final mortgage payment 2 years ago. The email listed her as co-borrower. Me as co-borrower. $800,000 refinance at 7.2% interest. I called my attorney Marcus Webb before calling Rachel. Don't contact her, Marcus said immediately. Don't sign anything. Forward me everything. I'm calling the bank's legal department right now. Rachel called me 17 times that afternoon. I didn't answer. Neither did Marcus when she called his office. The closing was scheduled for Thursday at 10 a.m. Marcus requested all loan documents Wednesday morning. The bank complied. They wanted a successful closing after all. $800,000 in loan origination fees and interest. Marcus spread the paperwork across his conference table. Loan application listing Rachel and me as co-owners since 2018. Partnership agreement dated 2018 with both signatures. Quitclaim deed from 2018 transferring 50% ownership to Rachel. Operating agreement Four Sisters Industrial Holdings LLC, with both signatures. Tax returns showing partnership income. Bank statements showing joint account activity. 12 documents total. 12 signatures supposedly mine. I looked at them carefully. My name spelled correctly. But the capital J in Jennifer had a loop I'd never made. The tail on the lowercase y curved left instead of right. Forgery, Marcus said flatly. The question is whether the bank knows. He called the loan officer Patricia Moreno on speaker. Ms. Moreno, I represent Jennifer Hollis. I need clarification on the ownership structure of the Industrial Boulevard property. Silence. Then, we have documentation showing co-ownership since 2018. Partnership agreement, deed transfer, tax returns, bank statements. Interesting, Marcus interrupted. Because the actual county deed recorded and verified shows sole ownership by Jennifer Hollis as of 2019. No transfers. No partnership. One owner. Longer silence. I'll need to escalate this, Patricia said carefully. Yes, Marcus agreed. To your fraud department. Because my client's signature appears on 12 documents she never signed. That's felony forgery. And your bank is about to disburse $800,000 based on falsified ownership claims. The call ended. Marcus immediately filed a formal complaint with the bank's fraud investigation unit, attaching the verified county deed records. Thursday morning, Rachel showed up at the bank at 9:45 a.m. My mother arrived with her. So did my Aunt Linda and cousin Derek. Family support for the big closing. I know this because Marcus was there too, sitting in the lobby with a briefcase. The bank's fraud department had invited us both to attend. Rachel wore a navy suit. Professional. Confident. She had a leather portfolio containing what I later learned were the forged documents. Her proof of co-ownership. At 10:03 a.m., Patricia Moreno emerged. Her face was carefully neutral. Behind her stood 2 men in dark suits. One was the bank's regional legal counsel. The other was the fraud investigation director. Ms. Hollis, Ms. Chin, Patricia said formally using Rachel's married name. We need to discuss some discrepancies in the loan application. Rachel smiled. Everything's in order. I have all the documentation right here. We need to discuss these documents in the conference room, the fraud director interrupted. All parties present. The conference room had a long table. Windows overlooking downtown. A document camera connected to a large screen. The fraud director introduced himself as David Park. He placed 2 sets of documents on the table. One set, Rachel's forgeries. Other set, my verified ownership records from the county. Let's start with the deed, David said calmly. He placed Rachel's quitclaim deed under the document camera. My forged signature filled the screen. Then he placed the actual county deed beside it. My real signature. Different. Visibly different. The capital J loops. The Y tails. The pressure points where pen met paper. Rachel's confidence flickered. Those are both my signatures, I said clearly. The county document is authentic. The other is forged. My mother started to speak. David raised one hand. Let's continue. He went through all 12 documents. Partnership agreement. Forged signature. Tax returns. Forged signature. Bank statements for accounts I'd never opened. Forged signature. Then David placed one more document on the screen. A report from the bank's forensic document examiner, dated that morning. Technical analysis. Stroke pressure differences. Hesitation marks indicating copying rather than natural writing. Ink chemical composition showing documents were created recently, not in 2018. 12 forged signatures, David said. Created within the last 60 days based on ink dating. All attempting to establish false co-ownership of a property valued at $1.2 million. The room went silent. My mother's face had gone pale. Rachel sat frozen. Marcus leaned forward. My client would like to know how this loan application progressed so far without basic title verification. Patricia Moreno looked ill. We verified ownership against the documents provided by Ms. Chin. We should have. We normally do cross-check with county records, but my sister is a long-time customer, I said quietly. She has 3 accounts with your bank. 15 years of banking history. You trusted her. David nodded grimly. Which makes this wire fraud not just forgery. Using established banking relationships to perpetrate fraud across state lines. The FBI has jurisdiction. Rachel found her voice. This is a misunderstanding. Jennifer and I discussed this. She agreed verbally. Then why forge documents? Marcus asked simply. No answer. Why create fake bank statements? He continued. Why forge partnership agreements dated to 2018? Why go to this length if you had verbal permission? Still no answer. David stood. Ms. Chin, I'm obligated to inform you that this matter is being referred to federal authorities. Wire fraud, bank fraud, forgery, and identity theft. The bank is also freezing all accounts associated with this application pending investigation. What? My mother stood up. You can't freeze Rachel's accounts. She has a family. Bills to pay. The $800,000 has not been disbursed, David said firmly. All accounts involved in this application are frozen pending investigation. That includes the account where the funds would have been deposited. Rachel had brought my mother, aunt, and cousin as witnesses to her success. They watched her defense attorney get called instead. They watched bank security escort her to give a formal statement. They watched Marcus present me with the official fraud report. Outside the bank, my mother tried to speak to me. Jennifer, please. He made a mistake. She's your sister. She forged my signature 12 times, I said. Created fake tax returns. Fake bank accounts. Fake ownership documents. That's not a mistake. That's a plan. She needed the money. Her husband lost his job, they're behind on bills. And I would have helped, I interrupted. If she'd asked. Instead she tried to steal equity from the building I bought with my dead husband's settlement. The property I renovated alone while grieving. She tried to put a mortgage on it without my knowledge. My Aunt Linda stepped forward. Family forgives. Family doesn't commit federal crimes against family, I said. I learned later that Rachel had planned to use the $800,000 to buy a vacation rental portfolio. Not pay bills. Not save her house. Buy investment properties with money stolen from mine. The forensic accountant the bank hired found more. Rachel had researched my property thoroughly. She knew its value, its rental income, its potential. She'd created the forged documents over 3 months. She'd opened the fake bank accounts slowly, depositing small amounts to establish history. She'd filed false partnership tax returns with the IRS, separate federal crime. She'd done all this while having Sunday dinners with me. While asking about my tenants, while celebrating my birthday. The ghost ledger doesn't have room for betrayal this calculated. Sunday dinners I attended while she planned fraud. 11. Birthday celebration where she hugged me while carrying forged documents. 1. Time she helped me with warehouse maintenance while sizing up equity. 6. Phone calls where she asked about my finances while building her case. 23. Trust one offered my sister after my husband died. Immeasurable now Ash. The bank fired Patricia Moreno. Her failure to verify county records against provided documents violated standard procedure. The loan would have closed. $800,000 would have been disbursed. I would have discovered the fraud when the first mortgage payment notice arrived. By then Rachel would have been untouchable. The money spent, the properties purchased, the trail cold. Federal charges filed. Wire fraud, bank fraud, mail fraud. She'd mailed documents to the bank. Aggravated identity theft. Marcus said the aggravated identity theft charge alone carried a mandatory 2-year sentence. No possibility of probation. My mother called daily. I didn't answer. She sent letters. I returned them unopened. She showed up at my warehouse. I told her to leave or I'd call police. She wanted me to drop charges. I explained that federal charges can't be dropped by victims. The government prosecutes. She wanted me to write a letter supporting leniency. I wrote one supporting maximum sentencing instead. The arraignment happened 8 weeks later. Rachel wore the same navy suit. She pleaded not guilty. Her attorney argued no harm occurred. No money was taken, no loss incurred. The prosecutor showed the 12 forged documents. Showed the 3-month planning timeline. Showed the fake accounts and false tax returns. Showed the calculated deception. Bail set at $100,000. Rachel couldn't pay. She stayed in federal detention. My mother mortgaged her house to make bail. I found out from my Aunt Linda, who called to tell me I was heartless. She's facing 5 to 7 years, Linda said. She has 2 kids. They need their mother. She had 2 kids when she committed federal crimes, I said. She thought about them before forging my signature, right? Silence. No. I continued. Then she valued investment properties over her children. That's on her. The trial is scheduled for next spring. Marcus says it's open and shut. The forensic evidence is overwhelming. Rachel's attorney is negotiating a plea deal. For years, restitution, supervised release. My mother stopped calling. The family stopped inviting me to gatherings. I'm the villain in their story. The sister who wouldn't forgive, who pressed charges, who destroyed Rachel's life. But here's what I know. Rachel destroyed her own life the moment she bought forgery pens and practiced my signature. She destroyed it when she created fake bank statements. She destroyed it when she saw $800,000 and thought, that should be mine. I simply revealed what she'd already done. The warehouse is still mine. Sole ownership. No mortgages. 3 tenants paying $4,200 monthly. I'm renovating a 4th unit now. Last week I hired a new tenant. A small manufacturing company owned by a woman who left an abusive marriage. She needed affordable space to rebuild. I gave her the first 3 months free. She cried when she signed the lease. Real signature. Real tears. Real gratitude. That's what ownership means. Not the equity. Not the value. The power to choose who benefits from what you've built. Rachel tried to forge that power. The bank's fraud department proved she couldn't. My signature remains my own. And that's worth more than $800,000.